Dear Dearie, welcome to a considerably earlier Sunday. Well, not as early as because this morning, about 3 a.m., I uploaded a video for yesterday. But right now, as you can see by the sunlight on the wall back there, hey, I'm doing this much earlier than before, but that is also because I have, 3 of these to record in a row, so I have to start earlier. It is almost 7 p.m. on Sunday. So what have I been doing today? We had, kind of slept in till about 11, which is about 8 hours from when I went to sleep, so I don't know if I can count it as sleeping in. However, spent a goodly portion of the morning kind of, going through the Eso Beta. I really don't want to say playing because I'm still testing it. It's really difficult to get into playing a game when it's in beta. I'm still, just the knowledge that it's beta, I keep looking for flaws, and I keep finding them. I found a couple so far. My housemates in the room right on the other side of this wall found like 2, I think, today. So I found 2. Now, bear in mind, these are very, very minor bugs. The one that I just found just a few moments ago, I was looking through our guild roster, and I noticed that 2 of the people that we have in our guild were still listed as recruits. I hadn't promoted them yet, so I promoted them both to officers. And when I went to look at the activity log, there were 4 lines that said that I had promoted myself. I'm like, no, I didn't. I promoted the 2 of them 2 ranks up each, so that would be 4. 2 for this guy, 2 for this guy. And it says it's. I'm like, nope, that's a bug. So I'm putting that in and everything. There was, I don't remember what the other one was that we found earlier today. But I think it was already known. There are several bugs that are still in there that are already known. They've got a couple of sizable ones that need to be dealt with before launch in just like 2 or 3 weeks. Really, they've got a bit of work to do. But it's still, it's kind of fun. I mentioned last night some of the things that I don't like about it. I guess that I'm just the sort of person that I don't want to rush ahead. I mean, when I get into a game, I'm there for the RP in RPG, for the roleplay aspects of it. I'm not there for just barreling through to get to the end game stuff, which is where all the good stuff is supposed to be. See, I disagree with that. I think there's a lot of, really great lore to be found throughout the entire game, especially with something as rich as, in its history as the Elder Scrolls. Even with a game that's supposed to be 1,000 years before, the last game they made. But still, it's, and before people start complaining about nobody would ever do that, have a thing where you're 1,000 years in the past from the last game you played, Warlords of Draenor. Yeah, because you're supposed to go back in time to before, the Outlands, the planet Draenor was just boom, so don't pull that with me. Plus Caverns of Time. Now, granted, that wasn't 1,000 years, but still. There was something else. Went to Carl's Jr. for the first time in a while today. And then we sat. We came back from getting Carl's Jr. and we were like, let's watch, let's just, sit in the theater. Because on the other side of this wall is a big ass projector. It's basically the size. The projector isn't the size of that wall, but the screen is. So, the entire living room is a giant projection screen TV. and it's quite nice. But we were watching Stan Lee's Superheroes. No, I could not stop bitching the whole way through the thing. One guy, the first guy, was supposed to be, like have the most powerful lungs in the, or not the most powerful lungs in the world, but superhuman lung power. And they keep going on about how, his lungs are so strong, blah, blah, blah. And then like maybe 5 minutes into the segment, they clarify that it's not his lungs, because the lungs are basically just big balloons. What it is it's the muscles, the intercostal muscles and the abdominal muscles and all these muscles around the lungs that are really powerful. And then they keep, after that, they keep saying his lungs are super powerful. I'm like, no, you have already established that it's not his lungs. Stop it. Stop it. Like, he's going to be able to do this because his lungs are so powerful. Like, and it just makes me angrier and angrier and angrier as it goes. It's not as bad as, this guy blows up hot water bottles. And I've seen another guy do that before. Now, granted, in the other guy's case, it was really, really stupid, because the guy who was explaining what was going on was saying that he's blowing with one lung and allowing the other lung to rest, and that he alternates back and forth. And I'm like, okay, you need to shut your face, because it does not work like that. Anyways, the second guy is supposed to have like these incredibly powerful eyelids, and he can pick up these incredibly heavy weights, incredibly heavy buckets of water, with your eyelids. I mean, that's saying something. He's got these metal hooks. To say hooks sounds like they're really sharp. They're not. They're broad, flat. It's just that they're curved. They're not sharpened or anything. And I'm watching this guy picking up these things. I'm like, those are not hooked under his eyelids. Those are hooked into the lower part of the orbit, which is the bone, around the eye socket. He's hooked it into the orbit. It's not hooked on his eyelids. He is not lifting that with his eyelids. And then they specify that in the show. And then continue to say that it's the strength of his eyelids that it might. No. Third guy is like super fast. He can catch, like tennis balls shot out of a machine at him, and arrows and paintballs, catch them without breaking them, kind of thing. And fourth guy was a master with the nunchaku, and the host of the show, not Stan Lee, the second host, said, nunchucks the first time he said it. After that, he never said it, nunchuck, again. But I was like, don't. Don't. If you want me to take this show seriously, and you are already way back on me, having any sort of respect for the show. Just no. But they go on, and this guy's in Detroit, and he says that he came to America because he wanted to he wanted to go to the place where Bruce Lee really got famous, and so he went to Detroit, and blah blah blah. And every time this guy is talking, he's only speaking, I believe it's Chinese, I think. I don't think they specified where he was from. If they were, I wasn't paying attention, because I was still pissed off from the previous thing. Might have been Japan. I really can't. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention where he was from. And I didn't recognize the language because they jumped on the voiceover for the translator so quickly that I couldn't make it out anymore. Anyway. So, going on about how he is absolutely deadly with nunchucks, and I'm like, anybody can be, and So they're going and testing, you know, all this stuff, high speed cameras, watching him hit a baseball with nunchucks, which was not a baseball for one. It was rubbery. It was not a baseball. It was kind of it was more like a t-ball kind of. It was just was not a baseball. Two, anybody with a pair of nunchucks, if you clock somebody with these, yeah, you can kill somebody with nunchucks. That's the way. People have been killing people with nunchucks for thousands of years. You know, I mean, I'm going to go with thousands. It may have only been, you know, hundreds, or, you know, tens of hundreds, which would be thousands. I know that. Shut up. So, by the end of the show, I'm not at all impressed. And yet more, and then we switched over to some other show about, like, were the Nazis getting help from aliens? Which, the worst part about it is that I gave more of a damn about the Nazis getting help from aliens show than I did about the Stan Lee show. Really. And there was a commercial for something called like Alone and Naked, or something like Naked and Alone. I think some survival show thing. And just watching the trailer, I was like, nope, you lost me. You already lost me, because everything about the camera angles, the way people were acting on the show, screams reality TV. And I use the quotes because I believe that they belong there. Don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. Nah. All right. 12 minutes and roughly 25 seconds of me bitching about TV. This is why I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV because of shit like that. That's why. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow for Motivational Monday. And until next time, be careless.